Hey, 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 everybody. How's it going? I hope you're having a great Saturday or hope you're having a great day whenever you happen to be watching this. Appreciate you tuning in, whether you're watching now, later, whenever, and hopefully not never. So, for today, I'm going to be doing per usual, but if you're not familiar with the channel, I'm going to be doing an astrology prediction for the New York Giants versus the Minnesota Vikings. The game is going to be played in East Rutherford, New Jersey tomorrow. Kickoff is slated for 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I have the astrology chart all ready to go and share over here. So we're going to be pulling that up. Might do a little recap of the Vikings or my last prediction, which was the Minnesota or Dallas Cowboys rather versus the Minnesota Vikings. So I'll probably go through that first, maybe talk about some other stuff. Timberwolves won a big game for them last night. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in Minneapolis. I didn't actually pull the chart for that game. I was going to, and I didn't. Ran out of time. But yeah, so big win for the Wolves last night. I think they won by like 3 points. Can't quite remember. It was a close one though. And it was Prince night too in Minneapolis. They had the Prince symbol in the middle of the Target Center. The Wolves were wearing the purple jerseys, so that was really cool. And I actually got to watch it because it was on Amazon Prime. So I was excited about that as a Wolves fan. And head coach for the Timberwolves, Chris Finch, he got ejected in the first quarter in just a couple minutes in. So definitely a big game for the Wolves yesterday. But yeah, happy that they won. Hi, Angel. Good to see you. Cheers from Oregon. Cheers back. Very good. Hope all is well. Very good to see you. Thanks for stopping on through. Hi, William. Good to see you. William, we're almost into our season. We're going to be going into Capricorn season tomorrow. Solstice too. So that's very, very exciting. I think we're going to be officially in Capricorn season tomorrow around like 10 a.m. Central, I think is when the official switch is happening. So, but still happy Sagittarius season to all the Sages out there, all the archers. So just enjoying the rest hours, I guess, or less than a day of Sagittarius season before we move into Capricorn season. So yeah, very exciting. All right. So, another thing too, everybody, wishing you all a very happy new moon. It was technically last night, but still feeling the effects. It was the last new moon. Did I say full moon? I meant new moon, but last new moon of this year, 2025. So hope it treated everybody good and hopefully, blessings and good things to come. It was a new moon, so that's when the sun and the moon come together in the same zodiac sign. So the sun and the moon came together at about 28 degrees of Sagittarius yesterday. So new moons are really good for, new beginnings, starting fresh, and rolled by Sagittarius, maybe feeling extra adventurous or wanting to expand your mind in some way too. And, saying kind of see you later, thank you to 2025 and going into 2026. So anyway, hope everybody's doing great. All right. Yes, you're a January Capricorn. I remember that. Yes. You're going to be going into your last year of your 40s. I mean, hey, age isn't nothing but a number. And for Capricorn too, since Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, a lot of times Capricorns, they as they get older and move into like later life, it's usually a better time just because Saturn is a slow mover. So a lot of times Capricorn or Capricorn placements, people that have planets in the sign of Capricorn can maybe find more success or find more enjoyment or maybe kind of on their path what they should be doing after like 35 plus. Because Saturn is kind of father time, karmic energy, older people, things like that. It's a slow mover. Capricorn, it's the sea goat, right? It starts in the sea and then it tries to make its way on top of the mountain. So keep climbing and have persistence that they get there. So also, the goats. So greatest of all time, right? But yeah, very good. And happy holidays to everybody that celebrates as well. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to take a sip of my beverages here. I have the last little bit of my, it's water with oranges, the juice of a couple of oranges in here. So cheers, everybody. I'm going to take a little sip and try to finish this up, but it's very good. It's like homemade, air quotes, Gatorade. So it's water, juice of 2 oranges, a little bit of salt, and some cream of tartar. So cheers, everybody. All right, we got that rolling. And then I also, I got a little bevy over here. This is, I've never tried this before, what's in this mug, but it's like a espresso martini drink, but there's no alcohol in it, but it's the different kind, gardening kind. So I've never tried this before, so I'm just going to take a little sip. I bought this on a whim yesterday. So cheers, everybody. And I think it's got, the equivalent to like 1 shot of espresso in there. So we'll see how it tastes. There is a lot of sugar in it. That's one thing I saw, like per can, there's like 25 grams of sugar. I was like, damn. It's very, very sweet, and it's not hot. It's cold, but it's very, very tasty. It's supposed to taste like an espresso martini, but there's no alcohol, but there's some greenery in there. Yeah, it's really good. It's very sweet, though. It's very, very sweet. I forget the brand, but that would be good if it wasn't so sweet. I mean, I definitely have a sweet tooth. Don't get me wrong, but woo, that is a sweet drink. Maybe adding some like extra actual coffee in there, be able to tone down the sweetness a little bit. So yeah, all right, you guys. Let me grab my nerd notes over here. So I was just gonna do a little recapping of the last prediction, which was Dallas. Yeehaw! All right, the Cowboys versus the Vikings. I had quite a long stream on that one. I eventually made the pick at the end of the stream. I tried to put a timestamp in there on my last live when I actually finally made the prediction, because, you know, we're talking about the chart for like 2.5 hours. I mean, the astrology charts, as you guys probably all know, it's like a layer of an onion, right? You just keep peeling and keep looking for stuff. But I did have the Vikings winning. I had the Vikings winning, and I realized I typed in the search bar Vikings bye. I didn't put Vikings win, but that's what I meant. I'm sure all of you got that. That's it. But I had the Vikings winning by 1 to 3 points versus the Cowboys in Dallas, and the final score, Minnesota 34, Dallas 26. So 8-point differential. So I was right on the pick, a little bit off on the point spread, but I got kind of close. So yeah, and a lot of people, or a lot of like the things that I had heard, you know, like the talking heads and stuff like that, a lot of them had Dallas winning. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, before I looked at the astrology chart, I was like, well, I think the astrology chart will be pretty obvious with Dallas winning. But then I pull up the chart and I'm like, well, I don't think so. So, and you know, just a friendly reminder too for everybody. Again, I'm sure the majority of you know this. When I do the predictions, I just stay neutral. I can't have fandom get in the way, so I have to just stay objective. Not a fan of either team. Looking at the chart, it is what it is. So anyway, let me see here. Let me pull up the chart and see what's happening. I pulled up the chart for the Giants and the Vikings. I pulled that up this morning earlier, so let me move over to my notes. Let's see. And my Vikings prediction record this year so far for the regular season, I'm 9-5. So over 500. So that's good. Alrighty. So let me see. Let me get the chart pulled up here. I will share it. If I can get my mouse over here. All right. There we go. I'm just going to blow it up a little bit. Alrighty, so let me grab that, and thanks again everybody for joining. Hope everybody's doing great on this Saturday. Let's see, that's not what I want. And you know, per usual, I have like quite a few charts pulled up. I still have Dallas and Vikings pulled up from last week. All right, so let's see if I chose the right tab. I think I did. All right, cool. So this is for tomorrow, and I have it set at 1 p.m. because I have to do, obviously, the time where they're going to be playing the game. So it's going to be in Eastern time. They're playing in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That's where the stadium is. I thought that's where it was, but I did have to look it up and remind myself too. So the records for both teams, the Giants, they're 2-12. I didn't realize that they were that bad, that they had only won 2 games. Just because I had been hearing like so much about Jackson Dart. And that is such a good name, like such a good name, especially for an athlete and especially for a quarterback. Or somebody that actually plays, professional darts or, pool or anything like that. So, that's just a great name, a great last name, I think, to have, especially, playing sports. So, anyway, yeah, this is for tomorrow afternoon rather. And, both teams, obviously the Giants being 2-12, both teams are not, looking to get in the playoffs. Neither team are in the hunt. Giants 2-12, Vikings are 6-8. So, for the Vikings, I don't really know too much about what Giants fans are thinking. I did check out Vocal Vikes chat the other day. He was on with a Giants content creator, a couple of other fellows. That was cool to kind of listen to their takes about it and kind of go back and forth. But other than that, not really super familiar with, the Giants, what they got going on other than the quarterback situation. And for the Vikings, obviously they're not going to the playoffs either. They're out of the hunt. It's done. The main thing for Vikings fans looking at JJ McCarthy, the little angel, right? The cherub, to see if he can kind of continue. Had a good couple of last games. And 2 for the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, always kind of in the spotlight. Are they going to, are the JJs going to be able to connect a little bit more? Christian Darrisaw, I believe, is just out for the season, the rest of the season. And then I want to say, too, for the Vikings, they have a couple other injuries. I think Cashman might be out, too. Not quite sure. I can't quite remember all the other names that are out for the Vikings. And then the thing, too, with the Vikings is, is Kevin O'Connell, okay, is he going to kind of continue with the play calling that fits the quarterback that he has as opposed to the play calling that he would prefer? So we'll see. But again, here's the chart for tomorrow, you guys. I do have all the notes written down. And that was one thing I forgot too. I was going to write down, but then I started getting ready to come on, is the point spread. I think I have something in mind, but I didn't write it down. But I do have who I think is going to win written down. I'll write it in here too once we get to it. But for every astrology chart that I read for the games, the moon is going to be the co-ruler of every single chart. She's very, very important. The moon, too, in kind of like world astrology, she rules the people. She also rules our emotions, kind of our private side. The moon is kind of the mother. The sun is masculine, kind of like the father. If you're looking at both of the luminaries, that being the sun and the moon. So, again, moon co-ruler for every single chart. And for tomorrow, the moon is going to be at 18 degrees of Capricorn at the start of this game, or at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And the moon normally rules the sign opposite of Capricorn, and that would be Cancer. So when the sun or the moon or any planet is in a sign opposite that it naturally rules, it's what's called is it fall or detriment? Wow, now I'm like blanking. I gotta look that up. I was gonna say fall, but I don't want to give you guys if I can spell. Yes, and it's detriment. The moon is in it. The moon is in its fall in the sign of Scorpio. So yeah. So anytime a planet or the sun or moon is in a sign opposite that it naturally rules, like the moon tomorrow in Capricorn, it's in what's called its detriment. So the moon doesn't really feel comfortable in the sign of Capricorn, but that's where the moon's going to be tomorrow for the game. All right. Soda, how's it going? No, this isn't either, actually. This is I have pulled up his astrology chart and I don't know, I can't pull up his exact chart because I don't know what time he was born. But no, this is just the game chart for tomorrow for Giants and Vikings. This is the game, like the birth chart of the game tomorrow. Yeah, the alter ego thing there. I mean, whatever he wants to do, I guess, you know. And just to kind of touch on him for a second, the last game actually. So thanks for bringing that up before I get too deep in the weeds here with the chart for tomorrow. Is I will say that fake handoff was amazing. And then the stupid freaking gritty won't go away. I'm not a fan of that. I've never have been. But then to find out that the little angel, the cherub, okay, McCarthy was told specifically not to do that. And then he just went ahead and did it anyway. Like, I don't really like that sort of like attitude. And I didn't hear it, but apparently McCarthy just flat out said, like, yeah, I was told not to do that. And then it made me want to do it anyway. Like, I get that too, because JJ McCarthy, he was born when the sun was in Aquarius. And Aquarius is a very untraditional, unconventional sign. So, like, that's who he is at his core. And Aquarius is really not one, or anyone that has a lot of planets in the sign of Aquarius is really not one to follow the traditional path or to do kind of what they're told. They're going to kind of go their own way, so to speak. So it doesn't really like surprise me too much, but also I think it just kind of shows like he is still super, super young. Kind of like, you know, if you have like I don't have any kids, but you know, if you have a pet or like a kid and you tell him not to do something, and then that just makes him want to do it even more. Or if you think back to when you were younger, I mean, I definitely myself when I was younger, like, oh, you're going to tell me to do that? That kind of makes me want to do it. Right? So that's very kind of like juvenile. So hopefully, you know, he still is just 22. He's going to be 23 in January. So it's like he's still young and still has stuff to learn. But it's like, dude, you also just like outed yourself there. And I don't really like that attitude. So hopefully it kind of matures a little bit. But I thought that was a very good play call by Kevin O'Connell, and I was listening to PA and Pete on the call, and it totally faked everybody out. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Very good fake handoff there. But I don't like the fact that, oh yeah, they told me not to dance in the end zone. That made me want to do it anyway. And then he just went and did it. So it a little bit ballsy there, and I could see why, or if Kevin O'Connell, aka Dad was maybe a little upset, you know, with McCarthy on that one. But yeah, the whole 9 thing, I'd be really interested how he decided to land on the number 9. Because I think he was born on like the 22nd of January, if I remember correctly. And Aquarius, so again, he was born when the sun was in Aquarius. Sun rules our ego, you know, and again, who we are at our core. And 9 is not associated with Aquarius. 9 is associated with Sagittarius. I feel like I'm not a numerologist. I wish I knew more about it. But astrologically speaking, I feel like he would do really, really well with wearing the number 11 because 11 is associated with Aquarius. So anyway, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So, and I'm not his astrologer. So. And you know, if that's his thing and that's what he wants to do, I mean, hey, whatever, man. So, anywho, back to the chart. I'm going to take another sip of this drink. Again, it's really sweet. It's really good. You can't go wrong with like 25 grams of sugar, right? But if you have a sweet tooth, but damn, it is like super sweet. So again, cheers everybody. All right. Okay. So tomorrow, again, moon in Capricorn, moon's in its detriment, doesn't feel super comfortable there. And you know, the moon actually too, for the Giants, the moon lands in the Giants' 4th house, which rules their stadium, their home base. So I mean, Can you be super happy about a team that's 12-2? Probably not. Feeling maybe a little bit more downtrodden, maybe a little bit more morose. I would say that's probably how the Giants fans are going to feel tomorrow. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them will still show up and cheer for their favorite team, of course. But that's just kind of how Moon and Capricorn, because Capricorn is a very serious sign too. It's kind of cold. It's not super emotional. And the moon rules our emotions. So, the fact that the moon is also in the Giants stadium tomorrow, that could just be a little bit of a more somber feel for Giants fans. And, we could potentially see, some purple fans there too. Minnesota Vikings fans do travel well. And also Saturn and Capricorn is a cold sign. So they're playing outside. It's probably going to, I didn't check the temperature for tomorrow, so I would assume it's probably going to be a little bit chilly tomorrow too. And I don't know, maybe we'll see a little bit of snowfall or something like that, because the moon, if you see this, this long red line here going between the moon and Jupiter's in the sign of Cancer, which is a water sign. So the moon opposing, that's polar opposites. Maybe we'll see a little bit of sleet, maybe a little snow, something like that, kind of, show itself tomorrow. So yeah. And let me go back to the chat here. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out or just stopping on by. Hi, Grim. Good to see you. Just checking in before I get back on the road. Don't forget us to send us good mojo for beating the evil today. Oh my gosh, 100%. Yeah, go Bears tonight. I think you guys play at 7, right? Or and I'm not sure if it's in Green Bay or in Chicago. I forget. I think I looked that up last week, but definitely rooting for the Bears. Freaking evil. No pack, no. So good to see you too, Grim. Thanks for checking in. Safe travels while you are out and about and working. And just to everybody too. All right. Let's see here. All right. Right now, it's a little update here. It's so freaking windy here. We have about 25-mile-an-hour winds. It's 6 degrees with a feel like -15. So, my dog has not been super pleased because we've been kind of, in the house a little bit more since it's so freaking cold outside. It is sunny here today, which is really nice. But yeah, the freaking wind, you guys, I'm telling you. Anywho, so everybody stay warm out there and stay safe, whatever you're doing. Ooh, it's in Chicago. Okay, cool. I might pull that chart up too, just because I'm curious as well. So, but yeah, I will definitely be cheering for the Bears all the way. And I think that's one of 2 games today. Oh, the other game I think this afternoon I heard is Philadelphia and Washington. Yeah. Okay, so William, your Eagles, we'll see. I mean, I would assume they probably have it in the bag, especially after watching the Washington, the football team, and the Vikings. But I mean, hey, you never know. But William, good luck to your team today. All right, I think they're playing about mid-afternoon, the 2 games today. So, but yeah, go Bears, definitely. So, and it is in Chicago. All right, so hopefully, speaking of wind, maybe there'll be a little bit of wind over there and, just kind of blow the ball around for the evil to the east. So hopefully the Bears can take care of business there. All right, so I will start with the Giants tomorrow. So I'm going to look at what planet rules each team, and then I'm going to look at houses number 5 and 10 for each team. There's 12 houses. These are all numbered, as you can see. Those are all houses in astrology, and each house represents something different in our lives. So house number 5 is going to be games, sports, recreation, gambling. So that's why I'm going to look at house 5 for each team. And then house number 10 rules career, longevity, public image. So I'm also going to look at that for each team. So I'm going to start with the Giants tomorrow. And I did look up Jackson Dart. I wanted to see his birthday. He was born middle of May. So his sun sign, when he was born, the sun was in the sign of Taurus. So who he is at his core is he's a bull. He's Taurus energy, earthy energy, kind of like the creature comforts. They like, to be comfortable. They like good food. They can be kind of like salt of the earth people. It's an earth sign, earth element. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. And I found it really interesting too. And this happens quite a bit when I look at the game charts. The Giants tomorrow, their first house, which rules them as a team, lands in the sign of Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus. And Jackson Dart, being a Taurus, also ruled by Venus. So I found that to be very, very fitting. Venus is the lesser benefic planet. So generally, Venus will bring good energy and good things because it is a benefic planet. And Venus also rules what we love, what we find to be pleasurable. It rules women, femininity, things like that. So Venus, i.e. the Giants, that's going to be their ruler for tomorrow. Venus is in the later degrees of Sagittarius. So again, the Giants are ruled by Venus. And I just think it's funny, too, that their quarterback is also Venetian. Not surprising. Probably Jackson Dart leading the way here for the Giants. And I'm going to look at what the moon is doing with Venus to see how the moon is communicating with the Giants. The moon at 18 degrees of Capricorn, it's not doing anything with Venus. So they're not communicating with one another. That's not like bad, but it's not like good either. So there's no communication going on between the Giants and the moon. The moon, oddly enough, too, also rules the Giants' 10th house, which rules, again, their career, their public image, how they're going to show out to the public tomorrow. So the fact that the moon and Venus are not doing anything with one another, it could just be like, I don't want to say like the Giants are there maybe going through the motions, but maybe that's going to be kind of a little bit of the feel. And again, they're 2-12. They still have games to play. It's a home game for them, but just not a lot of, energy really going on there. Or again, just kind of going through the motions that they have to do. All right. So, the 5th house for the Giants, again, which is going to rule how they're going to play their game tomorrow. That lands in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is traditionally ruled by the planet Saturn, and the modern day ruler is Uranus. So I'm going to look at both. I tend to do more traditional rulerships. I do traditional, what's called Hellenistic astrology, but I do look at the outer planets. That's going to be Uranus, Pluto, Neptune. They're just so slow moving, a lot slower than Saturn, and Saturn moves very, very slowly. So I'm going to look at what the moon is doing with Saturn, Uranus. I'm also going to look at what Venus, again, the Giants, how Venus is communicating with Uranus and Saturn, because that's going to be how they play their game. All right. Texas, how you doing? Thanks for stepping on in. Game forecast. Oh, a high of 44. Ooh, but wind gusts as high as 29 miles an hour. Okay, that could be what we're seeing there too. I think wind in astrology, I think that is ruled by Uranus, actually. I think, if I can remember correctly. And actually, the moon is in good communication with Uranus. They're what's called trine, one of these blue lines here. So yeah, definitely that kind of lines up. So thank you for the update there. Thank you. And 44, I mean, that's balmy. That sounds so balmy and and nice to me. But I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to be like outdoors playing in that. But I mean, it's almost 50. And compared to like the 6 degrees that I'm personally dealing with right now, that sounds like a heat wave. All right. Having a heat wave. Okay. So, yeah, thanks for the update. And yeah, the wind could definitely play a factor tomorrow for sure. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that. So the moon, again, co-ruler of the charts tomorrow. She is actually in good communication with both Saturn and Uranus, again, which rule how the Giants are going to play their game tomorrow. She is sextile Saturn, which is good. And then a trine, that's when the two planets are 120 degrees away from one another. And that's when the planets are in signs of the same element. So both Capricorn and Taurus, where Uranus finds itself, are earth signs. So the moon is communicating well with Saturn and with Uranus. So I mentioned this last prediction too, that Dallas had Uranus kind of helping them. And I kind of made mention that if Dallas did something unexpected, because Uranus is the planet of chaos, of disrupted energy, of what's unpredictable. I mentioned that if Dallas did that and used that to their advantage, like throw something at the Vikings that they're not expecting, that would help them. And then, funny enough, they faked a punt. I think it was a fake punt, not a fake field goal, if I remember correctly. It was a fake punt, and it worked out perfectly for Dallas. While they didn't win the game, doing something unexpected helped them. So I think it was a faked punt, and then they got the first down. So that's just kind of an example of how that Uranian energy can show itself. So kind of same thing goes for the Giants tomorrow. If they can do something unexpected, kind of throw something different at the Vikings, that would probably bode well for them. And then since Saturn is kind of in the mix too, kind of like the slower, methodical, practice patience, do what you're supposed to do kind of energy. Now, Venus, the planet that rules the Giants, Venus is not in good communication with Saturn or Uranus. If you see this cluster of red lines here, Venus at 26 degrees of Sagittarius is squaring Saturn at 25 degrees of Pisces. A square is tension in astrology. It is not harmonious communication between two planets. It's when planets are 90 degrees away from one another. So I don't like that for the Giants whatsoever. And then Venus is also what's called inconjunct or quincunx Uranus. That's when two planets are 150 degrees away from one another. And it's just kind of like, if they were given more time or a different record, or actually trying to get in the playoffs, it's not harmonious. So I don't like that for the Giants at all. And again, the moon is the ruler of how the Giants show up to the public tomorrow, their longevity, their career. The moon, while the moon is supporting how the Giants play their game, going through the motions, getting some plays, I would expect them to score points, probably do what they're supposed to do. Maybe throw something, like if I were the Giants astrologer, I would very heavily do kind of slow, methodical, practice your patience. But if you can, throw something unexpected at the Vikings, just like how Dallas did last week with the fake punt. If you can get away with it, that would probably bode well. But the fact that Venus is not getting support from Saturn or Uranus or the moon, I just kind of, again, see that as the Giants kind of doing what they're supposed to do. They show up for the game because they have to, kind of going through the motions. And then also Jupiter is in the Giants' 10th house, again, of their career, their longevity, how the public sees them tomorrow. The moon is opposing Jupiter. That can be something big. That could be, could we potentially see a blowout tomorrow? Like the Vikings go in there and maybe blow them out to maybe make this sad, somber energy of the fans even more kind of dynamic, because Jupiter will expand anything that it touches. And Jupiter is not making any communication with Venus. Venus is in the sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. So maybe not as bad of maybe like a blowout situation, or maybe kind of hanging in there a little bit more, keeping the game close if they can, that being the Giants. Because Jupiter is the greater benefic planet. It usually will bring blessings and good luck. And Jupiter is in good communication with Saturn and Uranus. Again, those two planets rule how the Giants play their game tomorrow. So again, kind of if Giants show up, do what they're supposed to do, maybe kind of keep it close. But the fact that Venus, again, which rules the Giants tomorrow, while that's a good planet to be ruled by, Venus is just, again, not getting support from Saturn, not getting support from the moon, not getting support from Uranus. So I don't like that for the Giants. All right. Blanchito 11. Yes, this is live right now. I like to see people from Twitch coming in, so thanks for stopping through. But yeah, I'm doing this is live streaming right now. I'm looking at the astrology chart for the New York Giants versus the Minnesota Vikings. Their game is going to be played tomorrow. So I'm looking at the chart for that. But yeah, thanks for stopping on through. Appreciate that. Okay, so now let's see here. I think I got through all my notes for the Giants that I wanted to kind of touch on. Let's see. Oh, one other thing, you guys, too, just to make mention of, is Uranus, which is the co-ruler of how the Giants play their game tomorrow. Let me get my mouse over here. Uranus over here. Uranus is retrograde, so it's moving backwards than how Uranus normally moves. So again, Uranus, chaotic energy, unexpected energy, and even more so with Uranus being retrograde in motion. When planets are retrograde, again, they're moving the opposite way that they normally do. So can be even more like unstable kind of energy. And the fact that Uranus is in the sign of Taurus and Taurus thrives on stability, that could maybe throw the Giants for a loop too. And the fact too that Uranus is in the Vikings' first house of themselves as a team, like one of the rulers of the Giants game tomorrow of how they play their game is right in the Vikings' first house. So it's like, maybe the Vikings have them sort of like figured out a little bit, or have the Giants game kind of in their possession. Like they might be kind of, I don't want to say like controlling the game, but maybe something like that. So now let's go over to the Vikings and look at them. All right. So the Vikings, their first house, again, which rules them as a team, lands in the sign of Aries over here, and Aries is ruled by Mars. So we got Venus and Mars going at it tomorrow. Venus, again, rules women, rules what we love, the lesser benefic planet in astrology, and that's the Giants. And then the Vikings are Mars, which is the lesser malefic planet actually in astrology, and it rules, it can rule men too, Venus, Mars, Venus women, Mars men. So both of these two going at it tomorrow. So the Vikings are ruled by the lesser malefic planet, Mars, tomorrow. So, oh, we got a little bot in here from Twitch. Okay. Always try to be nice to the bots, you guys. So, all right. So the Vikings are ruled by Mars. Mars is at 4 degrees of Capricorn. And this, the planet Mars actually does well with sports, because Mars, while it does rule anger and aggression, kind of cutting, it rules blood, fire, things like that. It does also rule ambition, energy, and drive. So it does well in sports. Like people that are athletes probably have like a prominent Mars, or a Mars is placed somewhere in their personal astrology chart where it's maybe getting good support from other planets. So that's going to be the ruler for the Vikings. Now, also in the Vikings' first house, we already touched on Uranus. So Uranus is going to be a co-ruler for the Vikings tomorrow. And then if you look at the circle with an X in it, that's what's called an Arabic lot. This is the part of fortune. I do also look at that sometimes for sporting events. So those are going to be kind of co-rulers for the Vikings tomorrow. Now the moon, which is the co-ruler of every single chart, she's not doing anything with Mars, that being the Vikings. So it's like, just kind of the same thing for the Giants. Like the moon isn't supporting Venus, the Giants, and it's not really supporting Mars either. Mars and the moon are both in the sign of Capricorn, which again is a more serious sign, ruled by Saturn. But Judith, did you attend Kepler College? Good to see you, Judith. No, I did not. I don't even know where that is. Where is that? I don't know where that is. No. I went to the University of Minnesota, in Minneapolis there. So yeah. But Kepler, is Kepler in Minnesota somewhere? I'm not sure, but no, I did not go there. Let's see. T-Bass, how you doing? Good to see you. I know. I did mention that last week, but my stream was so long last week. So, I'm not going to be able to do my normal time because I have my class tomorrow morning at that time. And I'm actually going to tell you guys what the class is too. I'm excited about that once I get through the chart. But that's why I'm popping on today, to get the chart reading in, because I'm not going to be able to stream during the normal time because of my class tomorrow. So, but yeah, good to see you. I'm glad you stopped in today. Hope all is well. And I will try to put more timestamps in here today too when I finally get to the prediction. But yeah. So anyway, and no, it's not a cooking class. Not a cooking class. All right. So, but yeah, that's why I'm doing the reading today. So, all right. Now, let's see. For the Vikings, their 5th house of how they play their game tomorrow. Oh, yeah, that's right. So just to finish on the Vikings again, they're Mars tomorrow. Mars at 4 degrees of Capricorn. Capricorn, more serious sign. So for the Vikings, they may put their energy, their drive as a team into more like serious things. Again, focusing on the quarterback. Can the quarterback and like the number 1 wide receiver kind of get along, have some energy, drive, kind of push that way. And maybe doing the like more slow, methodical approach, even though Mars is very fast energy, since it's in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn is a lot slower, and it's a cold sign as opposed to Mars, which is hot and fast. So might see a little bit more kind of like slow, methodical gameplay for the Vikings than we normally do, because, you know, some of Mars's energy and that fastness gets a little subdued being in a slow sign like Capricorn. All right. And so again, the moon is not doing anything with Mars. They're both in the same sign of Capricorn, but the moon has already kind of collided with Mars. Actually, that'll be happening. I think that already happened today. But kind of like, okay, see you later. But I will say that Mars, i.e. the Vikings, is in good communication. Sorry, try to get that out of there. With the part of fortune, which is again an Arabic lot. It's trine, so they're both in an earth sign. That's really good. I like that. And Mars is in good communication with Uranus. Again, Mars in the sign of Capricorn, Uranus in the Vikings' 1st house, in the sign of Taurus, both earth signs, Capricorn and Taurus. So Mars in good communication with Uranus. So I do like that. So maybe, you know, too, it might get to a point where we do see something maybe a little bit unexpected from the Vikings. Maybe they try another, like, not necessarily like a fake handoff like they did last week, but, you know, something unexpected, maybe, you know, a little bit more off the cuff, and maybe kind of works to their advantage. All right. So let's see. T-Bass at the Classic Connect 4 commercial. Pretty sneaky, sis. I know that reference. That is so funny. That makes me laugh every time. Pretty sneaky, sis. Yeah, in the Connect 4. I totally get that. I love it. Lloyd Braun. Am I crazy, or is that a lot of gum? Jerry, it's a lot of gum. Yeah, that's funny. Happy Festivus, actually, upcoming to everybody too. Am I crazy, or is that a lot? It's a lot of gum. Yeah, because Jerry was wearing those glasses, and he couldn't see that he gave Lloyd like a $100 bill to buy him gum. Another good Seinfeld reference there. I like it. That's a lot of gum. T-Bass, you're at the airport. You're heading back to Florida? Okay, headed back to the warmth. You were in Illinois visiting family. you got to take the grandkids out ice skating and you didn't hurt yourself. Hell yeah, huzzah to that. That's very good. Getting some family time in there. Very good. And we were actually talking about that last week, I think, too, right? Not slipping on the ice. So nicely done. Very good. Safe travels back home, or, the home base in Florida. I'm jealous that you're going to be going to a warm climate, back to your warm climate. But safe travels, and glad you stopped in. But yeah, pretty sneaky, sis. So that's funny. All right. So let's see here. Back to the Vikings. So for the Vikings, how they play their game tomorrow is lands their fifth house, which again is house number 5, lands in the sign of Leo, and Leo's ruled by the sun. So again, we just had a new moon yesterday, and that's when the sun and the moon come together in the same sign. So it's fresh start, new beginnings. Not necessarily like a new beginning for the team per se, for either team, because there's only 3 games left after, let's see, they're at 14 games. That'll be 2 games after tomorrow, I think, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so not really like some sort of new beginning, but maybe like some sort of new beginning, and it's at the end of the season. So it's like, that is coming to a close, but some sort of new beginning for each team and just for everybody involved because of the new moon. Yeah, so 2 games left after tomorrow's game. Vikings and Lions on Christmas, or on the 25th of December for those that don't celebrate. And then Vikings and Evil to the East, TBD on January 4th. So crazy. The season went by so fast. But you went old school with the grandkids Easy Bake Oven. Oh my God, that's awesome gift. I love my Easy Bake Oven, and I love my Barbies too. Barbie slot car track and an Evel Knievel stunt cycle. Cool. Sounds like really good gifts. I bet they liked. Hopefully they did. Very good. Seriously, I loved my Easy Bake Oven. It was so fun. Cooking with a light bulb, you gotta love it. Very good. Too, you guys, I got these gifted to me. I do, and these are really comfortable. I'm wearing them right now. I got Viking slippers as a gift. So, yeah, very comfy. So, yeah, I'm wearing those right now. All right. They're very comfortable, and they're warm, which is good. So, and then I got a Vikings hat too, a new Vikings hat as well. But anyway, T-Bass, what do you got? Including tomorrow's game, the last 3 games the Vikings have played were against the 29th, 31st, and 30th overall defenses. Could be a mirage. Oh, damn. Well, J.J. McCarthy gets some good practice, right? Damn. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Okay. That's a good little statistic there. Very, very good. All right. Okay. So let's see here. All right. So for the Vikings, how they play their game tomorrow is ruled by the sun. And again, we're moving into Capricorn season tomorrow. So the sun is at 0 degrees of Capricorn. And the sun is very close to Mars, which again, Mars rules the Vikings tomorrow. The sun basically is what's called conjunct. That's when 2 planets are at the same degree in the same sign. That's a very powerful energy. So I like that for the Vikings. Like, they're going to be like, okay, again, neither team is going to be in the playoffs, but let's be serious about this. Let's get some reps in for McCarthy. Let's get some not practice because it's a game, but let's get reps in there. Let's do what we're supposed to do. Let's try to jive together as a team. Let's do it. So I like that for the Vikings. The sun, which again rules how the Vikings play their game, is also in good communication with Uranus and the part of Fortune, which are the co-rulers for the Vikings. So I like that for them. And then the fact that the sun and the moon just came together, and the sun rules how the Vikings play their game, and we just had the new moon, we could see some sort of like new beginning for how the Vikings play their game tomorrow, and just how they play their game in general. So, anywho, what else did you get them? Oh, nice. You got them got them each a half-ounce gold coin. Very good. Yeah. Gold never goes out. So, yeah, I like that. That's really nice. So, yeah, it's only going up in its worth, right? And actually gold, funny we're talking about Leo. Gold can be associated with the sign of Leo too because Leo's ruled by the sun. All right. So, that's fitting. I like that. Oh, damn. Look at that. Texas knows. 2K. Wow. Yeah. And it's just going upward too. So, yeah, that's amazing. That's a really nice gift. Nice. You got lucky grandkids, T-Bass. All right. Lucky grandkids. I'm trying to get my hair where it doesn't. I feel like it kind of looks like a pumpkin or something. I don't know. Got this little cowlick going on. It really doesn't matter, but my Leo rising always shows you guys. The rising is how you look and your body. Leo, again, kind of lion's mane. So I'm always like tinkering around, fussing about my hair. I always have been since I've been younger. Okay. All right. And then speaking of Leo, again, that's the sign that rules how the Vikings play their game tomorrow. All right. So, for the Vikings tomorrow, their career, their longevity, how they show up to the public, their 10th house, it lands in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and also the moon is there, and Pluto is there. Pluto is a destructive planet. It's kind of the planet of death and rebirth. Again, moon rules the people, rules emotions. And the moon being in the Vikings 10th house, they really could, kind of like show themselves or cement themselves in some sort of way tomorrow. And with the moon opposing Jupiter, and Jupiter will again expand or kind of like make things big, anything that it touches. And that those two planets, or the moon and Jupiter, being in the Giants' 10th house of how the Giants show out tomorrow, that's where I was seeing like a potential blowout situation for the Vikings to go in there and be like, well, all right, we're gonna put a lot of points up, and I don't think you're gonna get a lot of points type of situation. So we'll have to look out for that. Beavis and Butthead just said, haha. She said Uranus. 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 Yeah. I've heard some astrologers say Uranus. I've heard some say Uranus. But yeah, to each their own, right? You identify as T-Bass's grandkid? That's really funny. Yeah, that's a good place to be. He's got lucky grandkids for sure. Yeah. That was a good one. All right. So, and again, too, with the moon being in the sign of Capricorn, and the moon it does not feel good in the sign of Capricorn, and the moon is in the Vikings' 10th house of how they show out to the public. And on the flip side, for the Giants, the moon is in their house, like their stadium. Well, the Vikings could come in there and kind of put a somber mood, even more somber than fans of a 2-12 team tomorrow. So let's look out for that. And again, Saturn rules how the Vikings show out to the public tomorrow, their career and their longevity. And Saturn is supporting not only Mars, or Mars is getting support from Saturn, Mars being the Vikings. The moon is also getting support, kind of shining her light on Saturn. So I like that for the Vikings. And again, Saturn is slow. It moves slowly. It's kind of rigid. It's kind of cold. So I would look out for that tomorrow. I like that for the Vikings. Again, they could kind of damper the Giants fans' spirits, even more than they are already dampered. And then too, for the Vikings, Saturn finds itself in the Vikings' 12th house, and Saturn finds its joy in the 12th house. So Saturn enjoys being in the 12th house. That is a good placement to have Saturn. Okay, so I like that for the Vikings as well. And then Saturn is also in good communication with Uranus, which is a co-ruler for the Vikings. And Saturn, slow, methodical. Uranus is a little bit chaotic, unexpected. And also, funny enough, JJ McCarthy being a Aquarius or born when the sun was in Aquarius, Aquarius is ruled again traditionally by Saturn. Modern day ruler is Uranus. So the moon is supporting both of JJ McCarthy's kind of main planets that rule who he is at his core. So I think he could probably have a pretty good game tomorrow because he's getting support from Mars, which is the team, all right, and getting support from the moon. The moon rules again emotions, and the moon again too in the Vikings 10th house of how they show out to the public. So it could be another opportunity for JJ McCarthy to show the public that yes, I can handle this. I can be, be in the adult NFL quarterback lead the team shoes sort of thing. So we'll look out for that as well. All right. Hi, John. Good to see ya. Well, I definitely like our chances better than before. Yeah, I mean, like, in my notes, I see so much more support for the Vikings over the Giants. More than last week, definitely. And with this moon and Jupiter opposition, I just see a potential for a blowout because again, Jupiter will expand anything it touches, and Jupiter is in the Giants' 10th house of their career, their longevity, how they show out to the public tomorrow, opposing the moon. So like they're opposite one another. The moon being in the Giants' 4th house, the moon being in a sign that it doesn't feel comfy in. So the spirits, the emotions of the Giants fans could, really kind of go big tomorrow. All right. Not to mention that there's supposed to be a lot of wind gusts tomorrow too. So again, we'll look out for that. But I think for the Vikings, again, having the Saturn in their 12th house, Saturn feels comfortable there. And also for the Vikings, the sun, which again rules their game, how they play their game tomorrow. The sun is in the 9th house, and the sun also feels comfortable in the 9th house. It finds its joy there. Each planet has its joy in a different house. And for Saturn, it's house 12. The Vikings have that. And then for the sun, it's house 9. And the Vikings also have that. So I just feel like, while the Giants, again, are going to show up, kind of go through the motions, I do see a potential for a blowout, for the Vikings to blow them out. But I just see a lot more going the Vikings' way, getting a lot more support from everything. And again, with Uranus being in the Vikings' 1st house, it is getting support. But, again, it's kind of chaotic energy and it's unexpected. So we could see some of that going on. But I am picking the Vikings to win tomorrow. I didn't write down the point spread. I do have to get to that, but I kind of have a point spread in mind. But yeah, I think the Vikings are going to go to East Rutherford, and I think they're going to kind of TCB. I think the Giants, again, they're 2-12. Just show up. They're going to do what they're supposed to do, go through the motions, and, be there, right? So why does Justin Jefferson like dressing like the Lost Beetle from the rooftop concert? You asked. I don't know. He's I would be interested to look at his personal astrology chart. I know his ego, his sun sign is in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini's the twin. There's 2 sides to Gemini, wherever you have Gemini in your chart. So that's who he is at his core. And Gemini can be a trickster energy. It's communicator. It can be funny. So I don't know. I would actually look and see where Justin Jefferson's Venus is when he was, or where Venus was when he was born, because where your Venus sign, that can kind of show how you're going to dress, kind of like your aesthetic, kind of like what you like. So I don't know, maybe he's got like Venus in Leo or something like that, because Leo's very flashy sign. I mean, we could look that up really quick. because now I'm kind of curious. But again, I am picking the Vikings to win tomorrow. Now I want to know. So while I don't know Justin Jefferson's exact time of birth, I can look up his birthday and see where Venus was. So he was born June 16th, 1999 in St. Rose, Louisiana. So let's just look up and see where Venus was. Now, if I just had to guess, again, maybe in the sign of Leo, or maybe like in the sign of Aquarius, because Aquarius doesn't really follow the rules. Or maybe as Venus is, Venus in Aquarius is a little unconventional. And I say that as somebody, I have Venus in Aquarius. So let's see where Venus was when JJ was born. It was either in Gemini or in Cancer. So I could see maybe in Gemini because there's two sides. So kind of just dressing for how he feels. So yeah, his Venus was either in Gemini or in Cancer. So let's take a look and see if we can find it somewhere else. Actually, too, when he was born, Justin Jefferson has a Leo moon. And the moon rules our emotions, who we are on the inside. Leo is a very flashy sign. And funny enough, JJ McCarthy has a Leo moon too. So that's very interesting. And when Justin Jefferson was born, the moon was actually conjunct Venus. So the moon, kind of how you show up to the public a little bit too, being conjunct Venus, he puts his fashion on display. He likes people to know what he's wearing, in his aesthetic. So that definitely makes sense. Let's see. And funny enough, it looks like Justin Jefferson is an early degree Leo moon, and JJ McCarthy is a very late degree Leo moon, but they're both Leo moons too. So that could maybe explain why that, the JJs, that while they're not like completely 100% compatible, it could be something along the lines of like they want the limelight on them, like maybe a little bit more difficult with sharing the limelight, something like that, but they still get each other because they both have a Leo moon. But Leo energy, again, Leo's ruled by the sun, so that spotlight, is gonna follow people with Leo placements, whether they want it to or not. Let's see. This site's not really telling me, but oh, you even got to drink a few hams. There you go. All right. I haven't had a hams in like many, many moons. I haven't had a hams, but I definitely know what that tastes like for sure. Let's see. T-Bass, nobody wants to be my grandkids. I'm not scared to kick you square in the ass if you're doing something stupid. I mean, I think that's good. Structure, right? And like, I don't know. Again, I don't have kids, so I don't know, but like, you got to put boundaries up, right? And honestly, like, that's kind of like how I was raised. Like, if you do something wrong, you're going to get like not your ass kicked, but kind of get your ass kicked. Like, I definitely got spanked as a kid and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm not condoning violence or anything like that, but it's like, okay, kids and adults are, adults need to show the kids, like, you can't just let the kids rule the roost, right? Otherwise, it might be a little bit of chaos. Okay. So, damn it. This is only showing me the moon. All right. Let me go to I don't like this website. I can't really trust it. Let's see. I just want to know where Venus was. That's giving me too much crap. I know, yes. Me too, John. Yep, we touched on that a little bit earlier. Yep, I'm definitely going to be cheering for the Bears tonight, that's for sure. I mean, shoot, I might pull up their chart just to see. All right, here we go. Okay, you guys. So Justin Jefferson, when he was born, what was it, the 16th? June 16th, 1999. All right, so man, I think he actually does have a Venus in Leo. That was my first guess, but let me double check. No. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, you guys, I think he does have a Venus in Leo. That other website, I think, lied. That's crazy. Again, that would have been my first guess. Now I'm just really curious. So I'm going to put this chart in because I just really want to see now. I don't know the time that he was born, so I just have to put unknown. And then he was born in St. Rose, Louisiana. So we'll put that in. June 16th, 1999. Oh my gosh, he's so young. Let's see. What does the astrology chart say? Let's see what it says. Yep, you guys, he has a Venus in Leo. Yeah, that was one of my guesses. So that could definitely explain why Justin Jefferson dresses the way that he does. Again, Venus, your aesthetic, what, kind of how you look, what you like to wear, being in the sign of Leo. Leo's a fire sign. Leo placements often are found as entertainers and things like that. So that's crazy. I said either a Venus in Leo or Venus in Aquarius. So, all right, we took a little adventure there. But yeah, T-Best, to answer your question, that could be astrologically why he likes to dress like that. I had to go check my Sgt. Pepper's album cover. I swear Jefferson is in there somewhere. Yeah, again, that's, yeah, he's always wearing those glasses, but it's just so fitting that he's got a Venus in Leo. Like somebody that's just, dressing very flashy. And, that could explain the patterns too. Especially if he wears like anything animal print too with Venus and Leo. I'm glad you asked that too, because it just makes sense. The astrology be astrologing again. So, all right, let me put, again, I'm picking the Vikings to win today, you guys, or tomorrow, excuse me. I'm so used to doing the prediction on the day of. And then before I get through the comments, I just want to finally put this in at about the hour marker. So I'm going to try to put the timestamp in. But again, I do see potential for a blowout tomorrow. I'm thinking like for the Vikings to win, maybe by like, I was seeing like 25 points, something like that. 10 points. I'm going to say Vikings by like 10 or more, potentially. I'm going to say by like 10 to 16 points, Vikings win. But I do see something about 25 in there. Yeah, I'll do the points, you guys. Most of y'all know this. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell it is in the chart that's going to give me the points. But yeah, I'm going to put the Vikings to win by, and again, there is blowout potential there. But yeah, Vikings by 10 to 16 points tomorrow. Let me put that on the bottom. John, I don't expect any weirder game than Thursday. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm so bummed that I missed the end of that, but I'm glad you brought that up, actually. That's our Darny. I feel bad for my friend Peo Time, who is a LA Rams YouTuber, but go Sam Darny. And yeah, he threw a pick that was pretty bad. I think he had maybe more than one in that game. But Seattle ended up getting it done. And did that game go to overtime? Because I missed the end of it. I fell asleep, but I was watching. Let Let me look it up here. And I like to watch on Amazon Prime because I like to watch the Spanish broadcast. And like when I was watching the Timberwolves last night too, I had the Spanish on. They did go into overtime. Oh yeah, and didn't they go for 2 points or something? Is that what happened? So yeah, close game between Seattle and the Rams. Seattle ended up winning 38-37. That's right. Yes. Crazy. T-Bass, 31 million is awfully expensive for a decoy. Justin Jefferson, you mean? I mean, as a fan of Justin Jefferson, like, I think he's obviously a good player. You know, and he seems like a nice kid. You know, he doesn't really, he likes to go out and have fun too. And that would also, his Venus and Leo would also explain like him going to like Fashion Week and walking down the runway and modeling clothes too. So that is just so fitting. Spotlight on him. But you know, he doesn't, you don't really hear about him getting into trouble or anything like that. And, you know, he just kind of like a kid at heart kind of energy vibe there. But I feel kind of bad that, you know, he's not really getting to utilize his talents. And, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to the Vikings trading him. And I only say that because I really think the Vikings need to kind of go down to like the bare bones and rebuild. Again, we've been through this before. The Wilfs don't really seem game to do that at all. But yeah, like I would not be opposed to the Vikings trading him only because of him as like looking at it, you know, as a fan of him, like as a player. You want to see those players like go to a place where they can really shine. So, and yeah, to your point, expensive decoy. It's the witching hour tonight. So, oh yes, it's going to be weird. Oh, for tonight's game, let's pull that up, you guys. So it is in Chicago. Let's pull that chart up here. Why not? It's, I would assume, is it at 7:15 tonight or 7:30, 7:20-ish? 7:20. We can pull that game up tonight. Yeah, you never know. Let's see. I was raised in a neighborhood surrounded by World War II vets. Everyone was kicking me in the ass. You needed a kick in the ass, is what you were saying? Yeah, I can understand that. Definitely kind of like the old school, you know, approach to raising kids and just getting by. So, yeah. But, yeah. And to that point again, I was spanked as a kid. Like, I got in trouble. I'm talking about literally someone kicking me in the butt. Well, I mean, you seem like you turned out all right. I mean, again, I don't condone violence or anything like that, but yeah, I don't think maybe I did get kicked in the ass. Literally, I definitely got spanked, like 100%. And I don't like hold that against my parents or anything like that. Like I was, you know, like all kids, like I was a little shit sometimes, you know, right? Like got a spanking and like I got warned too. But, you know, did it anyway. So you're going to get in trouble. And, you know, when I was a kid, there was no, like, when I was really like a kid, like I was playing kick the can with my friends and stuff. I was jumping rope, hula hooping, playing with my Skip It. I did get a Game Boy, you know, so that get taken away. But like, there wasn't like social media or anything. And I didn't have like a phone or like iPad or anything like that. So yeah, go sit in your room, right? And there's a picture of me when I was, I don't know, it was probably like 5 or 6. It was probably like 5. And my parents were like, you need to take a bath before you go to bed. Like, I didn't want to take a bath. I didn't want to listen to them. So they put me in the bathroom. They're like, you're taking a bath before you go to bed. And I vaguely do remember this too. And what did I do? I was like, myself, my stubborn ass, like, no, not taking a bath, right? Not doing it. So I fell asleep on the toilet. I had my hand on the tank, fell asleep. My mom took a picture of me, so still have that. Like, no, I'm putting my foot down. So you tell me I have to take a bath before I go to bed? Well, I'll just go to bed in here. Oh, yeah. It's fun to look at that note, though, now that I'm older. But my parents probably frustrated, like, this damn kid. What's the deal with the lampshades? I mean, if it's a lamp, why do you want shade? Exactly, right. What's the deal with Ovaltine? The jar is round, the mug is round. Might as well call it Roundtine. My space heater just went off. I gotta turn that back on. I might have to put my sweater on back here too. Actually, it's a double sweater, you guys. Let's see. I think McCarthy may do a few stupid things this game due to his ego and trying to outshine Jackson Dart. Huh, interesting. Yeah, potentially. And again, him being an Aquarius, or again, who he is at his core, this being McCarthy, Aquarius does not follow the traditional path, right? That other signs are maybe going to do. Aquarius is kind of the outer space sign. It's the new wave thinker. They think about like future, very unconventional, kind of quirky, being co-ruled by Uranus. Uranus is a little quirky. Again, it's unexpected. So yeah, we could see that. And the moon is supporting Uranus tomorrow, is supporting Saturn. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. So I could see JJ McCarthy having another good game. But again, that's just looking at his sun sign. I'm not looking at all the personal astrology. Like I said that in the past, like when Max Brosmer started, just going by like a couple of things that I found for Max Brosmer, like his astrology that I could find, I thought he was going to have a great game. Like it all kind of it definitely lined up where the planets were that he would be like playing and starting, which is cool that lined up. But I thought that he was going to play so much better than he did. And even too with Washington, I thought that Jaden Daniels was going to have a great game. He didn't even last the whole entire game. So, I haven't been right in that aspect, but again, I'm only looking at like the sun sign mainly, and there's so much more within everyone's personal astrology chart than just looking at their sun sign. But anyways, so we'll see. But yeah, again, it's very interesting to learn that both the JJs have a Leo moon. So let's see. I wanted to try to find that again. Yeah. So, and that could again, I'm just looking at the planets where they were when Justin Jefferson was born. Again, that could really explain why they're both like good, but why, it's like, it almost explains like both of them really, really do want the spotlight, and the spotlight wants to be on both of them. So having them both on the same team and both in the same like roles of like wide receiver one and starting quarterback, that is just so fitting. And hopefully they can find the common ground there too. But yeah, that would definitely explain it. Yes, I agree with you, John. Yep, I agree with you. I think they will win. And again, I do see that, we'll just put a note in this. I do have it written down in my notes. But some stuff in the chart that I can see, like I could see a potential blowout for the Vikings, like into some capacity, they win by 25 points. I'll just put the chart over here again. But so anyway, I do see a potential for that. Yeah. So anyway, I already kind of touched on all that stuff, but let's see. Vikings fare well versus Lions, Packers to go nothing much to play for. So it's fun. It's for fun, right? It's for fun, kind of just getting practice in. And I don't want to say like practice because it's a real game. But again, neither of these teams are going to the playoffs. So it's like getting some reps in, getting like the playbook down. And for the Giants, I'm not exactly sure what they're really focusing on. I would assume Jackson Dart and like just going through the motions and like showing up. I tried. I never really understood the game. My grandparents had jacks, like they had a whole bunch of toys, right, at their house. And that was one thing that they had. But I still, like, I know you're supposed to, like, throw the ball and I think, like, pick them all up. But, yeah, I played a lot of card games, though, especially with my paternal grandma. Played a lot of card games with her. That was Crazy Eights. She played Bonko weekly with her friends. I never really learned how to play that, but we really liked playing like Rummy, like Hearts, things like that. So, Jade, go scrub your carcass before you go to bed. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, my ass. Yeah, I definitely want to clean your ass, right? Is that what you mean? I definitely don't want a dirty ass. Is that what you mean? That's funny. Aquarius? Aquarius is an air sign, actually. A lot of people do think it's a water sign. It's the water bearer. Like the symbol is like water, being poured. But Aquarius is actually an air sign. And, also, that's funny too, that J.J. McCarthy, when he was born, his son was in Aquarius, which is an air sign. For the other J.J., Justin Jefferson, when he was born, the sun was in Gemini, also an air sign. So they have a lot of like similarities. And but yeah, that Leo energy, it can be very much like spotlight on me, focus on me over here. Let's look at me. Look at me. And like there's polarity with every sign. But with Leo being ruled by the sun is going to follow people that have a lot of energy, a lot of planets in Leo, just because that's what it does. And I've seen too, for people that do have Leo placements, because there's some Leo placements that are shy, right? That don't necessarily maybe like that spotlight on them. So it's like the polarity where the sun is going to shine on Leos and they're going to absolutely love it. Or I've seen kind of on the flip side for more shy Leos, or where they don't want the spotlight on them, they want to shine and help the spotlight shine on others. So that can be kind of maybe the polarity there. Again, there's polarity with each sign. So, anywho, but yeah, it's the water bearer, but it's technically an air sign. Thunder the Barbarian had the sun sword. I wonder what sign he was. That's interesting. Yeah, and the sun is very, very powerful. Very powerful. I don't know. We could look it up. Maybe he has a birthday. What's so hard to understand? You bounce the ball. Okay, about Jax. You bounce the ball. You pick up one. Next time you bounce the ball. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. I see. So then, do you just keep going? I suppose because you can only pick up so many, right? With each time. So then do you just do you get to keep bouncing the ball until let's say you bounce it on the third try and you only pick up 2. So then do you lose your turn? Like, is that what happens there with that? Yeah, I know carcass is a dead body. I know that. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought you meant. Like taking a shower or a bath. Yeah. Before bedtime. Okay. Like scrubbing your ass or something like that. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And I kind of like flip-flop depending on the day, like morning or night shower, but I definitely prefer a night shower because then you're all clean, right? When you go to bed. And I definitely will not wear like my daytime clothes in my bed, anything like that. So yeah, I see what you mean there. Keep it clean, people. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Hey, Jade, how's your afternoon going today? It's going good. Thanks for asking. What about you? I hope your Vikings get a win versus the Giants. It easily can be a trap game. Yeah, that's true. But if your team focus, your team should get it done. Yeah, Michael, we went through, the chat. I've been going through the astrology chart for the game for tomorrow. And I am picking the Vikings to win. I do see a potential for a blowout from the Vikings, but I do see them winning by, I have posted prediction underneath on the bottom there. I have the Vikings winning by 10-16. But yeah, Michael makes a good point about the trap game. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and maybe that's maybe that's this Moon Jupiter opposition that we're seeing. let me get my mouse over here. I know the chart's a little smaller, but the moon, again, opposing Jupiter. The moon, emotions, our feelings. Jupiter will expand anything, and those two are opposite one another. So, yeah. Light energy, yeah, from the sun, from Leo energy. Yes, very much so. Yeah, and that's why, the sun, it's the light energy, to John's point. It's out during the daytime. And then if you think about the moon is nocturnal. She shines her light at nighttime. The sun shines its light during the day. So, that's why the sun and the moon are called luminaries. They're not planets, they're luminaries. Because again, they shine their light, they illuminate. The sun during the day, the moon at nighttime. But yes, good point. Michael, doing anything special for Christmas this year? I heard that your Vikings are hosting the Lions. Oh, is it on Netflix? Okay. I didn't. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, they are playing on the 25th, this coming Thursday. And the biggest thing is Snoop Dogg is going to be performing. And I think there's another performer. I want to say it's Lainey Wilson. I think she's country. I don't really follow. Let's see. Honestly, I would have never even been able, I just Googled her. I would never have been able to pull her out of a lineup either. No offense to anybody that likes country music. I just don't follow. Let's see. I think she's playing halftime too, but Snoop Dogg is going to be performing. Oh, okay. Let me go via the Minnesota Tribune here. Snoop Dogg, Lainey Wilson, K-pop Demon Hunters, okay, are singers, the headline for the Vikings halftime show. All right. Yeah. Which will stream on Netflix. Yeah, to Michael's point there. All right. So I'll probably just watch it local, but yeah. I don't have anything planned though. Anything big. I am going to try to stream that game, do a live stream during that game. My birthday's coming up this week, but nothing too crazy. Let's see. When I was a kid, I had a morning paper route. Oh, for 2 hours in the morning, would always have to shower before school because I was covered in newspaper ink. Oh, yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, newspaper routes, too. I think people still do get their newspapers. But yeah, always seeing them out and about so early. And I could see that, too, trying to get all that ink off. Or, if I ever had sports practice before school, definitely, shower in the morning. And I mean, sometimes, I flip-flop, depends on the day, depends on what I'm doing. But if I had to pick, I would prefer showering at nighttime. Shower talk. Anyway. It's going well. Just hoping my Saints beat the Jets tomorrow. Oh, okay. Saints, Jets tomorrow. It is also a trap game for us, and it's my team's final. Oh, really? It is the final home game for you guys? For the Saints trying to finish strong. Oh, yeah, I hear that. Let me look up. What is the Saints record? I'm just going to look up your team here. They're 4-10. Jets are 3-11. All right. Yeah, best of luck to your Saints tomorrow. Like you said, finish strong, last home game. So, yeah, it's crazy too. Season coming to a close, especially for those teams that aren't going into the playoffs. All right, about to board my plane. Good seeing you. Happy Christmas. If you don't have another show between now and then, I am planning on streaming on the holiday on the 25th, Christmas again for those that celebrate. But thanks for stopping in, T-Bass. Appreciate it. Happy holidays to you and yours. Safe travels. All right. Have a good flight. Thanks so much for stopping on by. My birthday's on Festivus, actually. I am Festivus. It's the 23rd. So, yes, thank you. I hope you have a good birthday starting around next week. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, it's on Tuesday. I hope so, too. Probably should be good. As I get older, I just like to chill, have a chill day. But I don't have to work, so that's good. I will take it. But, yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. All right. I have to write down my posted prediction in my notes before I forget. And again, I'm trying to put the timestamps in there too. All right. But I have to write stuff down, otherwise I forget it, you guys. That's why I have so many nerd notes. So I remember. So yeah, picking the Vikings over the Giants tomorrow by 10-16. Again, I do see potential for maybe blowout. So, but we shall see how things pan out, right? And that's another really great thing about looking at the astrology chart is I can always go back and check my work, check the answers, you know, like going to the back of a textbook to check the answers. So, and then too, I get to see, you know, whoever, you get to see the astrology chart play out in real time. So that's also cool. All right. But yeah, anybody interested, or if you're just joining right now, definitely feel free to go back, you know, back to my stream at the beginning. I go a lot more in depth with the astrology chart. But anyway, let's see. I like the country music songs where the one guy got drunk and ran over his dog with his pickup or tractor. Oh, wait, that's every country. That's super morbid. I don't think they talk about running over their dogs. No, like no, I don't like that. I don't like that energy. Not saying whatever, but I see what you mean. It's usually like, yeah, drinking beer in your tractor or on the farm or whatever. But yeah, again, people that enjoy country, hey, you go enjoy the country music. It's just not my jam. But I will say though, I'm a little bit of a sucker for because a lot of my family likes country music. So when I was younger, the song Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson, I just feel like I sounded really Minnesotan there. Alan Jackson, Chattahoochee. I do know that one. I will, I'll tap my toe to that one. And when I was younger, for whatever reason, I really enjoyed Achy Breaky Heart. Okay, like everybody did. But yeah, so my grandparents definitely listened to country music. So, but they had a farm, so not trying to profile because I know you don't have to live on a farm to like country music or vice versa. But so that's why I did hear some country music when I was younger because my grandparents. But neither of my parents, they listened to like the Rolling Stones and stuff like that. So that's why I'm more partial to that music because that's what I heard because that's what my parents listened to. But like the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Hendrix, stuff like that. So, all right. So I'm going to look up just because I'm still here. It's 2:15 Central. And I got time. I'm going to look up the chart for tonight's game. The Bears hosting the Evil to the East. So let's look that up and see if I can spell Chicago with one hand. All right. I'm also going to fix the caption. And yeah, I had that in at about the hour mark. So I'm going to write that down too. Because I'm trying to get better at putting the timestamps in. Sometimes YouTube will do it automatically for you, but other times it won't. Or like the AI won't catch it. So just because, again, we've been going for a little bit over an hour here. So I'm just going to write that in later in the description. Oh, I was going to tell you guys what my class was too. T-Bass, I know that you're not on anymore, but maybe I'll tell everybody on the holiday. All right. Let's see. All right. And again, you guys, I have a class tomorrow morning. So I'm not going to be able to live stream the game. I'm going to be able to check the game out tomorrow, but I won't be able to stream it because my class kind of will get over right as the game's going to be starting. So that's why I'm doing the prediction today. All right. Okay. So tonight, Chicago, Illinois, December 20th at about 7:20 p.m. Let me double check. I think it said 7:20. Let's see. On Fox, Evil to the East, 9-4-1 are at the Bears, 10-4. definitely never cheering for the evil to the east. So I'm going to say, again, go Bears all the way. Let's see here. So before I share the screen, thanks again, everybody, for stopping by. Here's the chart for Bears in Green Bay. Oh, damn it. This is the Vikings chart again. We already went through that one. So many tabs. Let me grab the right one. Here we go. I think this is it. Alrighty. Okay. I think I got the right one. All right. Yep, this is for tonight. So this is just like a blind read. I haven't looked at this at all. So the moon tonight is going to be at 10 degrees of Capricorn for the start of this game. Chicago, their first house or themselves as a team lands in the sign of Aquarius. So Chicago is going to be ruled by Saturn over here and Uranus. All right, over here. And then the evil to the east, their first house, which rules their team, lands in the sign of Leo. Again, Leo's ruled by the sun. So the sun is at 29 degrees of Sagittarius. Because again, happy Sagittarius season, everybody. We're in the final hours here of Sag season before the sun moves into Capricorn tomorrow. So then we'll be in Capricorn season. But still technically in Sagittarius season. So each zodiac sign too, you guys, is 30 degrees. So when there's planets or like the sun or the moon are at either 0 degree or 29 degrees, it's very, very potent because it's like the final countdown here. So for like the Packers tonight, since they're ruled by the sun, which is very powerful in itself. It's very powerful because the sun gives us life, right? But it's at 29 degrees, the very final degree of Sagittarius. So could this be some sort of like finalization for them in some way? Like, you know, if they do lose I'm not sure where like the actual stats lie. Maybe somebody that's watching here can tell me, but like, you know, if the Bears do beat the Packers tonight, is that going to be some sort of like ending to the hopes of the Packers winning the division? Something like that, potentially. But again, at the 29th degree, it's like the final countdown before, you know, the planet or the sun in this case moves to the next sign. So it's kind of like it's garnered all the energy from Sagittarius, and now it's like, where's that gonna fall? So anyway, let's see. And then again, there was just a new moon last night. So that's when the sun and the moon come together. But the moon has now moved away from the sun, but we're still getting that energy. And then for Chicago, their fifth house of how they're going to play their game tonight is in the sign of, or lands in the sign of Gemini. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is over here in Sagittarius. Mercury is the communication sign, all forms of communication. And now tonight, what I do like for Chicago is that the moon is supporting Saturn, which again, Saturn and Uranus are the rulers for Chicago tonight. The moon is supporting them, both Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is in Chicago's fourth house of their stadium, their home. Again, Uranus is unexpected energy, so could see something unexpected in regard to the fans or just, the stadium itself. Maybe, I'm not sure what the forecast is, something along the lines of weather or something a little bit chaotic. Chicago is the windy city. Uranus can control I'm pretty sure Uranus can control wind. I'm going to have to double check on that. But I think it does. But yeah, maybe extra windy, something like that. Or maybe like the elements helping Chicago in some way, but both Chicago and the Packers both play outdoors normally anyway. So it's not like either team is a stranger to playing outside or playing in the elements. And then for Chicago, what I don't like for them is that Mercury is not getting any support. Again, Mercury is how the Bears are going to play their game today. Mercury is not getting any support from the moon, and Mercury is not in good alignment with the Bears themselves. It's squaring, again, one of these red lines, squaring Saturn, and it's also going to be, again, what's called inconjunct or quincux to Uranus. So maybe Chicago's going to be a little bit kind of off their game today. I don't like that for them. And not to mention, too, that for Chicago, again, this is just a blind read on the chart for tonight because I just pulled it up. But another thing for Chicago that I don't really like for them is that the moon is very, very close to being in Chicago's 12th house of hidden enemies, of what's hidden away from them. And yeah, and the moon in Capricorn already doesn't feel comfortable there. So that could maybe equate to the fans ended up being a little somber, a little sad, a little morose. That's kind of Capricorn feel, and the moon rules the people and rules our energy or our emotions, excuse me. And could be kind of hidden away from Chicago, like, yeah, something like that. So we'll just look out for it. Another thing that for Chicago I don't necessarily like for them is that they also have Pluto in their 12th house of what's hidden away from them, hidden enemies. Pluto is the sign of death and destruction, death and rebirth. It can really, you think things are smooth and Pluto just comes and uproots everything and just like, nope, we're starting over again because that wasn't working. So it can be a tough energy to deal with Pluto there. So that could maybe equate to Chicago thinking, all right, we're going to win this game. We're going to win the division. Not so fast. Potentially. All right. But yeah, I mean, so far, and then for Chicago, their career, their public image is ruled by Venus. Venus is at 25 degrees of Sagittarius. Mercury is Mercury, which rules Chicago's game, how they play their game today, is close to Venus. It's trying to kind of catch up. So yeah, I don't like that for the Bears. And also the Bears, their public image, Venus is squaring Saturn. Saturn again ruling the Bears tonight. I don't like that at all. That one of these thick red lines, there's tension there. It's almost like, are the Bears going to be embarrassed tonight or something? Or like they thought that they really could win the division or beat Green Bay, and nope, not going to happen. So I don't like that. Kind of the Bears have been, Venus is kind of what we love, and the Bears have been kind of on this like, hey, like, are the Bears for real? Like, they're 10-4. But with Saturn can bring a stop to things. It can delay things. It can put a block there. So it's almost like, I'm looking at that like their game tonight, they're going to be stopped. There's going to be a block there. Like, oh, you think you're going to just waltz on, through and take the division? Not so fast, my friends. That's kind of what I'm seeing so far. But again, blind read here. And then for the evil to the east, and again, I got to stay neutral here. I can't let because again, I will be rooting for the Bears to win tonight. But when I look at the astrology, it's cut or dry. It's yes or no. So, I mean, as I'm looking at this, like, I'm like, might look like Packers got it in the bag here. But we haven't looked at them yet. So, again, Packers ruled by the sun. Sun's very powerful. And the sun at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, that's a very potent degree at 29 degrees. And for the evil to the east, how they play their game today, their 5th house, look at all the planets there. Look at them all. Mercury's there. Venus is there. The sun themselves are there. Mars is there. And the moon is very close to being there. So that's a lot of energy right there for the evil to the east. And Jupiter's ruled by, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So the sun and Jupiter are not doing anything. And actually, how the Packers play their game, Jupiter, is actually hidden away from them. It's in their 12th house of what's hidden from them. So it's almost like, are the Packers even aware that they have this like potential or something, or some sort of like hidden surprise, but a good surprise? Because Jupiter is a good planet. It usually brings blessings and good luck and positivity. So with it being hidden away from Green Bay, could this be like a pleasant surprise, or the fact that they are going to win that is hidden away from them? All right, like a hidden surprise, a positive surprise. I could see that. And I think the Packers will come to play today, even though they're dealing with some injuries, But I say that because the sun, which rules them, is in the 5th house. They also have Mercury in the 5th house of how they play their games. They have Venus in their 5th house of how they play their game. And they got Mars there. And the moon is also there too. So it's like they have all of this energy right there. Excuse me. So, I mean, I don't know. Looking at this, I'm like, I feel like the evil to the east might take this one tonight. And then how the Packers show out on a public level, that is going to be ruled by Mars. So Mars also in the Packers' 5th house of how they play their game today. Like, this is a big, serious game for both teams. Mars is energy, ambition, drive, and for the Packers, they also have Uranus, the planet of chaos, of surprises, unpredictable energy in their 10th house of how they show up to the public tonight. I mean, so yeah, things could go the Packers' way. Now, what I don't like for Green Bay is the fact that the sun, which rules them, is not doing anything with Jupiter. All right. And so that's why I'm like, this game potentially could be like a surprise for Green Bay that they're actually going to win, potentially. But the sun, that being Green Bay, is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So the Lord, kind of like the caretaker, the overseer, the Lord of the sun, i.e. the Packers, is Jupiter. And then too, the ruler of the Packers' career, how they show out on a public level, Mars is also in the Packers' 5th house of how they play their game today. All right. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the Packers just have all of this energy right in their 5th house too. So I don't know if just from this chart, honestly, I would probably say that the Packers win tonight. Just because too, with the sun ruling Green Bay, and it's at this very, very potent degree, 29th degree. It's a lot of potent energy. And seriously, it's right in the Packers' 5th house too. So it's kind of like, oh, Chicago, you think you're going to beat us at home and you're going to take the division? Not so fast. So if I had to like pick based off of, just pulling the chart and looking here, I would probably say that the Packers win. And like, it's going to be like a surprise, even that they're maybe not expecting. Yeah, so I would say if I had to pick based off of this, I would actually say Green Bay gonna win tonight. And I'm trying to see like the points, potential points. I don't know, maybe like 6 points, 1 to 6 points or something. So anyway, that's what I think from just looking at the chart. So anyway, all right, it's been almost 2 hours, you guys. So I think that's all I got for today. Appreciate everybody being here, everybody stopping by. I didn't finish my bevy, either of my bevies, like I wanted to do, but I'm definitely going to keep this chart pulled up too. And I'll be watching tonight just to see how the chart plays out in real time too, and who ends up winning. And again, if I had to pick right now between Bears and the Evil based on the astrology chart, again, I would pick Green Bay by like 1 to 6 points. We'll see how it pans out. And then two, just a reminder for everybody, my prediction for tomorrow's game, Vikings or Giants versus Vikings, I'm picking the Vikings to win by 10 to 16 with potential for a blowout of like 25-point victory or something. But yeah, we'll see how everything pans out. And I really appreciate everybody being here, hanging out. Again, whether you're watching now or you stop on through later, whenever, appreciate you being here. And the plan is to stream on Thursday for Vikings versus Lions. I also think, I think for the Vikings, because they're hosting, I think they're doing a whiteout, which I just have to roll my eyes to that. I'm not a fan of that. I've mentioned it before. It's usually not good luck either when the Vikings do that. And honestly, people, it's just for them to sell more merch and for them to make more money, okay? And then they mix it in with like, oh, it's holiday. Like, oh, it's during, winter, blah, blah, blah. No, it's really so they can make more money, okay? And I think, too, when they have like the whiteout at the stadiums, I think it has potential for the stadium to look even more full. But people are going to do it. And it's just like, no, I shan't be doing that. I mean, I'm not going to the game, but I don't like it. So anyway, that's just my take on it. But yeah, I think I'm going to end there almost at 2 hours. So hopefully I'll see everybody Thursday. If you want to stop by, that would be great. And depending how tomorrow goes too, I might try to do a halftime check-in for Giants versus Vikings just to kind of, touch on the chart. But again, if you want to go back, I went way more in depth with that. But I am picking the Vikings to win 10 to 16 points, potential for a blowout, maybe 25, but we shall see. And then just randomly pulling up the chart for the astrology chart for tonight's game, Bears versus Evil to the East versus Green Bay. I don't know. Again, well, I shouldn't say I don't know because I already looked. So what I saw, what we just looked at, I would have to choose Green Bay to win by like 1 to 6. I think it's looking more Green Bay's way. But as a fan, I will be cheering for the Bears. But, since I've been doing the astrology charts, it's just really hard for me to like go against what the chart says, even though I've been wrong before, sure. So we'll see. So as a fan, I'm rooting for the Bears, but as an astrologer, it looks like, from what I just saw, that it's going to be Green Bay. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a good game though, and may the best teams win. But again, Minnesota goodbye here. Appreciate everybody checking in. Hope you have a great rest of your Saturday and great rest of your weekend, all that good stuff whenever you happen to be watching. And hopefully I'll catch everybody on the next one. All right? You guys be good. Stay safe. Be cool. All those good things. I'll catch you later. Thanks, everybody.